These are 12 NBA facts you didn't know. I bet you didn't know that an NBA player spent over $100,000 buying their wife. This is NBA legend Manute Bol, and he found his dream girl while living in Sudan at Tongbul. Only problem was, her dad wouldn't let her marry anyone unless they paid big. So, Manute spent $100,000 on 80 of the best cows in the land and traded them for the love of his life. Yeah, that hurts, but nothing hurts more than fact number 11, because I bet you didn't know the NBA debuted the Spalding Synthetic, a ball and microphone made of faux leather and vibes, hoping it would improve the game, but instead, it sparked outrage, with players like Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki complaining that the ball was literally cutting up their fingers. So, the NBA launched an investigation. It found that the microfibers in the ball were causing players' hands to bleed, forcing the NBA to ban it immediately. But the NBA doesn't always ban things immediately. This goes to show with our 10th fact, because I bet you didn't know that NBA players lie about their height. Like Chris Paul, for example. The guy is listed at 6'1", but in reality, he's 5'11". Or Dwayne Howard, who's listed at 6'11", despite actually being 6'9". And all of this is because, for years, players were able to measure themselves with their shoes on. But in 2019, the NBA put their own foot down, telling players they gotta be measured without shoes, and to be honest about their height. And look, as a short king myself, I understand adding a couple of inches, alright? But what I'll never get is our 9th fact, the time an NBA player was once traded for a copy machine. Yeah, back in 2003, the Nets drafted Kyle Korver with the 51st pick, but immediately after the draft, they realized they needed something better. So, they sold him to the Sixers for $125,000 in cash, and after paying league fees, the Nets took the rest of the money and bought a brand new state-of-the-art copy machine. I'm not sure what the Nets were agreeing to, but for our 8th fact, we've got to talk about the Washington Bullets. I bet you didn't know that they changed their name because of the 1995 killing of the Israeli Prime Minister. Zach Rabin was leading a peace rally when all of a sudden a shot rang out, killing Rabin instantly, and as news of the murder spread, it affected no one more than the Bullets owner, A. Pollan. Cause it turns out those two were lifelong friends, and after that, they felt it was insensitive to have his team called the Bullets. So, just 4 days later, he officially changed the name to the Washington Wizards. Man, that is a crazy story, but hey, with number 7, I bet you didn't know that NBA players are making crazy money. I'm talking as much as lawyers. See, every game, these dudes put their lives on the line, from getting trucked by players, to taking balls to the face, and even getting harassed by fans. My boys got it rough, so the NBA makes sure they get paid, with some making as much as $100,000 a year. God damn, even their bank accounts are clean. But what's dirty is fact number 7, cause there's no way you knew that NBA players fake their injuries. And they do it to draw fouls, good old extra days of rest, or even fake a torn ACL. But in 2022, the Miami Heat were fined $25,000 for lying about one of their players' injuries. The Heat were furious, so they retaliated by listing their entire team as injured just to be petty. Yeah, Miami were butthurt. Speaking of butts, we got number 6, with the fact that Charles Barkley's enormous ass literally resulted in a rule change. See, back in the 1990s, Barkley was using his butt to back defenders down throughout the game, but everyone thought it was unfair because nobody wanted to be near that dump truck. As a result, the league decided to butt in and introduce the Barkley rule, which stated that a player only has 5 seconds to back their opponent down. Yeah, that was weird. But at number 5, you probably weren't aware that the NBA players have the weirdest habits. These players include Harold Miner, who would touch everything with his nose, Karen Butler, who chewed straws during games, Rajon Rondo, who took 10 showers per day, and Jason Terry, who used to sleep in his opponent's shorts the night before a game. Fact number 4 is that the NBA tests players for steroids after every big game, and nobody is safe. Because everyone from De'Aaron Fox to Jay Morant have been hit. The NBA even came calling after Damian Lillard scored 71 points. Yeah, it was damn time for that drug test. At number 3, we have BJ Tyler, who ruined his life with a bag of ice. Yes, a bag of ice. In 1995, he signed a $6 million 5-year contract with the Raptors, was entering his second season when his future appeared promising. However, one day after practice, BJ's ankle felt a little sore, so he decided to wrap it in ice and take a quick nap. However, when BJ woke up a few hours later, he had no feeling in his foot because the ice had literally frozen his nerves to death, rendering his ankle completely useless and forcing him to retire. Yeah, that blows. But at fact number 2, when it comes to referees, they can't please everyone. Fans, players, and coaches may become agitated, but most of the time, there's nothing serious, unless it includes this guy. Scott Foster, because this man has issues with some players that go beyond basketball. I mean, whenever Julius Randle sees Scott, it's on sight. Or James Harden, who publicly said Scott shouldn't even be allowed to ref. But nobody hates Scott more than Chris Paul, because Chris has lost 14 straight playoff games that Mr. Foster has refed in. This man is ruining the game, for real. But for number 1, we gotta talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo. I bet you didn't know that before the NBA, Giannis was a movie star. See, back in 2012, when Giannis was just 17 years old, he and his mom got cast at an Australian movie called Dead Europe. Man, while Giannis only had one scene, it was clear he was gonna be a star.